I was using a lot of strength. I was using a lot of emotions, and we kept going back to back, and we were taking different angles, and there was zoom in, zoom out. Sir was not happy with how it came, and being the perfectionist that he is, he was like, we have to do it again. And in fact, he came to me and he was like, your audition scene was much better, we want to reshoot it. So I'd always heard about Pao. And I was like, oh, like, it must be something very interesting. And like, Pao kya hota hai? The first time I got to know that Pao is bread.
Hi guys, welcome back to Radio City India. I know you've missed me because we are meeting after a very long time, but I am here with somebody very, very special for you. She's not only been the only trending person right now, but she is the absolute sweetest person to talk to. Let's introduce to you Abha. Hi Abha, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you over here.
Thank you for having me.
How has it been lately? Like, we'll get to everything. We have our viewers who are like really wanting to know your journey, but with the success of Hira Mandi and with you being a household name now, how has it been for you?
It's definitely out of this world. I mean, you always imagine that someday you will be on a Bhansali set, and then that day comes and you just are like, and the kind of response that you get and your performance is being appreciated. So it's definitely very wholesome, and I'm very happy about whatever's happening.
Oh, nice. We will get to the entire process of working with Sanjay sir and all of it. But tell me, how did you want to become an actor?
There was no one instance.
Mm-hmm.
I think I always felt very creatively driven.
Mhm.
I felt like I'm a creative individual, and that has been the thing ever since I was very young. Like, I would express myself in terms of dancing, stage performances, painting, and my family did want me to be a doctor. And I did have medical in 11th and 12th because I really wanted them to be happy. So I did try to become a doctor as well. But in 11th and 12th, when I started studying, I realized that this is not what interests me. And I had seen Three Idiots by then, and उसमें एक लाइन थी कि लाइन तो क्या थी, वहाँ से मेरी एक लौती सीख ये थी कि काम वो करो जिसमें मजा आए.
Right.
So that just stuck in my head, and I was like, I have to do something that I enjoy. And because I used to love painting, so I took up NIFT, which is National Institute of Fashion Technology.
Right.
And I loved my college life as well because it was very creatively expressive, and you would get so many opportunities to express yourself creatively. So it was during that time that I really got interested in modeling.
Mhm.
Like, growing up, I used to dance, I used to be on stage all the time, but I never thought of becoming an actor because there were no opportunities, and I hadn't seen anybody from my family or my relatives take up that profession. So I never thought that it's possible or like it could be done.
Right.
But when I came to Mumbai and I was in the hub of film industry, so I was like, if not now, then when?
Yeah.
And I think I remember the first time I faced camera, it was my senior. He asked me to model for him for a project.
Mhm.
And initially I was very nervous. I was like, how am I going to do it? First time you're in front of the camera. But I remember the moment I was in front of the camera, it just felt like home. I was so comfortable, and I was playing with the camera, I was modeling, and he's like, yeah, you're feeling it, do whatever you feel like.
Nice.
And great pictures came out, and after that I would never let go of a modeling project. I think even in college, I would not imagine myself as the designer clapping, but I would always imagine myself as the model who's walking the ramp.
For whom
And-
people are clapping.
yeah yeah. And I wanted to participate in Miss India, and like, I was really interested in pageants, but I think because they have had a certain height criteria which I could not qualify, so
Which we discussed off.
yeah. So during that time, I came across a pageant which was Miss Navi Mumbai,
Mhm.
and they did not have any height criteria.
Wow.
And I think that was the only thing that I was not able to fulfill. Apart from that, I was super confident, and I knew that I know how confident I am,
Sure.
and I can present myself well. So when I went for the pageant, I was super confident, and I competed in that pageant, and then I won. And I didn't even tell my family that I'm participating because I felt like if I don't win, then they will, think a certain way about it. And so I was like, I'm only going to tell them if I win. So when I won the pageant, that's when I called them, and they were so happy about it. I remember that time it came in the news, and for Shimla, a girl from Himachal who's come to Mumbai and has become Miss Navi Mumbai. It was such a big thing. I remember there were people in a local bus who were recognizing me and who were
Oh,
like,
nice.
"आप Rajesh Ranta की बेटी है ना?" He's my dad, Rajesh Ranta, and आप राजेश रांटा की बेटी है ना? और मैं कहा हाँ जी मैं उनकी बेटी हूँ। कहते हमने आपको न्यूज़पेपर में देखा था ऐसे ऐसे करके। सो it was just very overwhelming, but like my family was very happy about what was happening. After that also I used to think in my head that I want to give a year to acting because interest तो था, but वो journey कैसे travel करनी है वो कहीं ना कहीं नहीं पता था. So I took up a job as a fashion designer. I worked as a fashion designer in Andheri West, and after 3 months I realized that this job is not for me. Like I'm not a 9 to 5 person. I quit my job and I started acting.
Okay.
I told my family ki I'll try to sustain myself in Mumbai, and if I'm able to do that I'll not take another job, but if I'm not able to do that then मैं दूसरी job ले लूँगी because I didn't want to burden them financially as well. So but ever since I quit I started getting a lot of opportunities, and उसके बाद से तो I've never looked back. It's really worked out.
It's such a relatable journey, you know, for
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
who is just starting off their career and who's just starting to get opportunities and all of it. So it's such an inspirational journey that you've just started off. There's so much more to go for you. But tell me, do you recall the first time you ever faced the camera for a legit movie or a series or something? What was your first break that you got?
I think I started with ad films.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for all the projects I've gotten. That was the first time. So initially when I would be on set, I would be very nervous. Like I could not raise my voice. I could not say what is to be done. I would just listen to whatever anybody is telling me and try to deliver that.
Right.
So it's, I think, back to back when I've been working in the industry, I've gotten the confidence to, now I'm able to express myself creatively more and have a creative voice on set.
All right. Let's talk about Hira Mandi a little.
Yeah.
So how did you get a call? Just tell us everything from the beginning.
I auditioned for it in the first lockdown.
Okay.
And that time it was the lockdown and auditions were coming. We were filming them at home. So I filmed one audition, and it was through Shruti Mahajan Casting. And they took up interest in my profile, and then they asked me to record another audition, and I sent another audition. After that I didn't get a call for like a year.
Wow.
And that's when I got a call, and they were like, we would like to audition you for Young Malika Jan. I was like, okay. And I get the sides, and it's the murder scene. And it's such an intense scene, and I was so excited to do it. I was like, I'm going to enjoy doing it on set. I have to do it. I just read the scene, and funny thing, how I prepped for that scene was that I had read somewhere that serial killers, when they murder somebody, they get an orgasm or like that kind of release by killing people. That's why they keep doing it again and again.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, if the emotion is somewhat like the hormones are somewhat similar to that, I instantly related it to that scene in Friends where Monica
7
is explaining 7 erogenous zones to Chandler. And she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. She said it 7, and that's how she does it. And I'm like, I just have to make it more angry and intense, and then I can incorporate in that scene. So my audition scene went like that, and in my audition scene at 7, I was like 7, and that's how I did it. And I think after the first take, I just knew that I got the take. I knew that this is it, and I want to send it ahead because it came out just the way I wanted it to.
Sure.
So I sent my audition, and after that, I think after another 1 year, I got a call back, and they're like, "Sir really likes your performance, and he would like to meet you." So that's how everything happened.
So did you DM Courtney Cox about, the same thank you?
Oh, I should. That's a very interesting idea. I didn't think this through. Yeah.
Hira Mandi has a Friends angle to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently.
But let's talk a little bit about working with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, like the Sanjay Leela Bhansali. I've read in so many interviews and I've heard so many actors talking to me about it's a different world that you enter. And when you step out of that world, you are a completely transformed person. So how much of truth is in that thing?
That's very true, actually, because I got to work with him very early on in my career.
Right.
And I remember, like I said, that I would be on set and I would be so meek and like I would not be able to say anything because I
Sure.
would be so intimidated. But once I worked with Sir, I kind of found myself as an individual. Like, uh, sets stopped. Like, I am not intimidated by being on sets anymore. They feel like home now.
Right.
Now it feels like I know what I'm doing. I know how this needs to
Sure.
be done. So that's a big takeaway that I've had
Hmm.
from working with Sir. And apart from that, my experience has been really nice, and it's the kind of experience that you always crave. Like, you want to be around creative individuals who are there to
Right.
give their best, and like, you know, be it like the dress dada or the makeup dada or the light dada or anybody on set, everyone is driven to give their best.
Sure.
And as creative individuals, we want to be around that energy where everybody really believes in the vision and is striving for perfection. So I think I'm always going to crave on being sets like that from now on.
But when you did that murder scene, actually, while it was being shot, was it as difficult as it, you know, looked on paper, or was it as effortless as you made it look on the screen?
It was very emotionally draining because I was using a lot of strength. I was using a lot of emotions,
Right.
and we kept going back to back, and we were taking different angles, and there were zoom in, zoom outs, and so I think that was one of the most intimidating scenes for me as an actor. And in fact, we shot that scene twice.
Okay.
Because the first time we shot it, Sir was not happy with how it came, and being the perfectionist that he is, he was like, we have to do it again. And in fact, he came to me and he was like, your audition scene was much better, we want to reshoot it. And I was like, okay. And I was hoping for a retake because, you know, sometimes as an actor आपको ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ ना कुछ कमी रह गई है, वो deliver नहीं हुआ. So when he said that I want to reshoot it, I was so happy. And then we reshot the scene and it came out the way it did.
Wow. So do you have, what's the best memory that you carry from that set? Anything with other actors or co-actors or co-stars of yours, or any random thing, the best memory that you have from the Hira Mandi set?
The best memory that I have is with Sanjay sir only. It was when he kind of appreciated my work. I mean, I was so intimidated by him that I could not even talk to him directly. Like, I would get nervous speaking to him. कि मैं बात भी करूँ तो मैं क्या बात कर रही हूँ? And when we were filming the first scene where Imad is taken away and I'm confronting Rihanna Appa that what did you do to my son and all that. So we were shooting it and sir calls me and he's like, look at your face. You're looking so beautiful right now. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, if you say so.
Then I'm genuinely beautiful. Yeah.
And then when the take was done, I was going towards my vanity and sir was walking ahead and I'm just very drained and tired. I'm about to step into my vanity. Sir turns around, he comes back to me and he's like, Abha, you were there today. And I did not understand it at that moment. I think it took me a while to understand it, that somewhere he felt that I was emotionally there today and that's why he said that. And I was like, okay, did he just say that to me? So I think that is a memory that I will always cherish. Like, जब आप किसी को टीचर मानते हो और उनसे आपको एक appreciation मिलती है तो आपके हमेशा दिल के करीब रहती है. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. I mean, this conversation is so emotionally, you know, I wouldn't say heavy, but interesting. I can't even imagine what the atmosphere on the set would have been. Let's talk a little bit about your early days and let's recall when you participated in Miss Navi Mumbai. Okay, so do you have any memories of living in the area or living in Navi Mumbai, and you know, maybe the food that you've eaten around, the street foods, or like we were talking that it's so much greener and so much cleaner than the actual cities. So any memories that you have of that?
In terms of food, there is a very interesting memory that I have. So I was from Shimla. Like, I am from Shimla and I had recently moved to Mumbai. So I'd always heard about pav. And I was like, oh, like, it must be something very interesting. And like, पाव क्या होता है? Oh God, the first time I got to know that pav is bread. And I'm like, what is the hype?
It's a fluffier version of your bread.
Okay, so pav is bread. And the first time I was sitting in my college canteen and they gave us snacks. So there is some, what do we call it? Something that we give with tea. Chaat.
Okay.
हल्दीराम्स का पैकेट में होता है ना, what do we call that?
Okay. The snack.
हाँ, snack.
Thingy. Okay.
Yeah. What do we call it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So snacks.
Like bhujia?
हाँ, all that. So
okay,
there was
okay.
bhujia and everything, and उसके ऊपर से दाल डाली हुई है, and they've given bread with it. So I look at the food. I'm in the canteen and I'm like, हाँ जो I think this must be the leftover food that they had in the canteen, and they've served it with dal, and that's the meal. Later on, I got to know it's called misal pav.
Oh my God.
And it's an actual dish.
You made it so confusing. Dal with
That's exactly how confused I was when I saw the dish. And I think over the years, I realized that in Mumbai, the life is so fast paced that you're always running from one place to another. So the food kind of represents that.
Yes.
It's like very on the go food. Like you just need to put 2-3 things together and you can eat it.
Sure.
It's like how people would eat vada pav after office,
Yeah.
before office. So I think it's the pace of the city and it's reflected in its food as well.
Wow. I think I'm going to have this misal pav thing as my trailer.
Now I think every time you think about misal pav, you'll remember me.
Yeah, of course. I would remember dal and same.
Yeah,
But that's interesting. Okay, tell us about your childhood. How was it? I mean, you just mentioned that you saw tons of movies together with your family.
Yeah.
So, how was your childhood?
So I am very blessed that I've not only been loved by my parents, but my grandparents have also played a huge role in my upbringing.
Right.
So when we were very young, me and my siblings, all of us, we started staying with our grandparents for our education.
Right.
So in Shimla, we have apple farms, which are a little far away from the city.
Okay.
And my grandparents wanted us to have a very good education. Like they wanted us to study in English medium school, and so that we can, become something.
Sure.
And so we started staying with our grandparents. I remember I was in 2nd or 3rd standard. That's when I started staying with them. And it's a lot of sacrifice that my grandparents and parents have done for us. But because of that, I became a very responsible child very early on, because I felt like I'm not only responsible for myself but my grandparents as well, because I could understand that they're old and I could understand the sacrifices my parents and grandparents have made for me. So apart from that, I think everything I used to do, I used to just like be very creatively out there. And initially it's like you tell your parents I'm a painter, they're like architect ban jao. You tell them I love animals and they're like doctor ban jao. So I also had a lot of stray animals around me growing up. My grandmother, she used to feed a lot of stray animals and I used to always accompany her. She would pack food and I would take it to the streets and I would feed dogs and I would feed cows. And so it was a very emotionally rich childhood, I would say that. And I think that always translated into my creative side as well.
Wow, I mean, you just transported me back to Shimla and the apple farms and all of it. It's so lovely to hear all of it. So next time I'm in Shimla, I'm giving you a call and we are like, maybe you can give me a tour of the city or something.
You would love it. You would love it. I mean, when it snows, oh God, that experience. I feel like sometimes I meet people in Mumbai and they're like, we've never seen snow. And I'm like, this is one thing that's so close to you and you're missing out on something so beautiful. Like, just after it's freshly snowed, you walk out and if it's sunny, everything is white and everything is glistening white and it's so beautiful to look at. And to be honest, it's been like 6-7 years and I haven't seen proper snowfall. Whereas when I was growing up, all our winter holidays would be at our village,
Wow.
where we would be playing in snow from morning till the evening, and our mother would like put gloves on us, give us warm clothes and socks, and we would go out and we would make igloos, we would make snowmans, and that would just be our childhood. And I always felt so happy and fulfilled by that. So I really miss snow. I hope hopefully soon I'll get to see that kind of snowfall again.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm craving one vacation, so hopefully I get to see some snow again, given
Yes,
the
you
Mumbai
should
heat is terrible and it's killing me every single day.
The heat here
Heat,
right now.
yes.
But it's gonna rain pretty soon, so I think
I
it'll.
really hope so. But talking about your childhood, how can we miss not talking about your sister? Like two sisters doing some incredibly work on celluloid. Pratibha, who's just shining in how with Lapata Ladies and also with Hira Mandi. So, how, I mean, do you ever sit down on table and talk all about movies, or it's just like, not talking about movies at all?
No, we definitely talk to each other about our work. I think in a city like Mumbai, we are each other's support system.
Right.
So I don't think either of us would have survived here if we didn't have each other. So it's always like, okay, this is the project. Or even if it's an Instagram reel, I show it to her. What do you think about it? And she'll tell me, and she'll come to me. She's like, what do you think about this? So we always talk about whatever's happening with each other. So yeah, like there's always a good conversation. But apart from that, we talk about life in general also, like how sisters do. So I think we have a very close relationship.
Right. I mean, you're just starting off your journey, and every time when somebody becomes famous, so along with, or somebody's loved because of whatever the work they do, along with all the praises comes trolls and, a lot more. So, my question is over here that A, have you faced any trolls? And if yes, then what is it way that you deal? Because this is such an important question for everybody who's even remotely creating content on Instagram. To people who are like, having a very flourishing career ahead of them, like yourself in cinema or something like that. So what's your way of dealing with the negativity, if at all you faced it?
I truly feel that, or this is what I try to imbibe the most, that you should not be carried away by praises. And if you don't do that, you will not be carried away by the criticism.
Okay.
So
Right.
like keep yourself centered if you're praised, and when you will be criticized, you will be able to maintain that centered and calm approach to life. So even when I get a lot of appreciation, I kind of value my own opinion also, that what do I think about it,
Sure.
and then I proceed. And if somebody is criticizing me, first I will look at their life. Is it coming from somebody who is doing better in that aspect, like better than me? So then I will give it a thought. Okay,
Right.
there must be some truth to it. But if I feel like I'm not looking up to their life, then I will not take their advice,
Right.
because why would I? So that's how I try to manage these things. But yeah, it will take a lot of strength. Every time you do it, you have to constantly keep reminding yourself of these things. But I hope God will give me the strength to face it, if it
Wonderful.
ever happens.
I just hope it never happens. And if at all it does, then you do have a very strong response for all of us, for all the negativity out there. It was so nice having you. Thank you
for
so
having
much,
me.
Abha, for being with us. It's such a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, I loved it, and we enjoyed so much. I'm
we
so
did. I think we should soon go and eat some best misal pav in town.
I think everybody should write in the comment section here. The best misal pav is in Mumbai.
I love it. I love the idea. Why don't you tell us what's the best misal pav that you have tried in town? Okay, anywhere in Mumbai, and Abha and I will go and review the place, and we will tell you which dal is it, which sev is it, whatever's being poured inside. Any messages, anything that you have for your fans that you would like?
Right now, I'm just grateful and so thankful for all the love that you guys have been sending my way. Thank you so much.
Alright, if you haven't seen Hira Mandi and if you haven't seen any of Abha's work, right now is the time because she's shining and how. I'll see you soon and make sure to subscribe and like this channel. Till then, take care. Bye.